Oh, hey everyone, how's it going? It's Nick Baldwin here, and I have an awesome guest with me this morning. I'm told he's awesome. I'm sure that he is. I know that he's got the greatest hair in real estate. That is definitely true. He is one of us. He was an agent. He was a team leader. He was an OP. He still is an OP. He was a regional director, and he crawled his way all the way to the top as the president of KW International. And his name is Marc King. And he is here this morning with a couple things, an announcement to make. And then he wants to teach us some things and draw on his chart, because we always learn a lot with organizational chart drawing. So Marc, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. I appreciate it.
That was an elaborate introduction. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, you forgot one point, and that was failed at every level along the way.
Marc failed his way to the top.
Thank you. That's funny. No,
well, Marc,
the bottom. My job is to serve up 200,000 people. Yes.
I got a call at 8:30 at night last night from Jason, and he's like, Nick, I need to speak to you ASAP. We have a really big announcement that we need to make, and we'd love it if you went on with Marc and made that announcement. So Marc, can you just tell us like what the heck Jason's calling me at 8:30 at night for?
Should we tease it, or should we just announce it and blurt it out? So this is really exciting. This goes back to we'll talk a lot about this, but this goes back to the idea that when talent shows up in your world, you find a way to get in business. And I know as an agent, I struggled with that for years. When I finally got the right operations person, my business tripled, went to #1 in the board, Nick. Even me could sell lots of houses, as it turned out, if I had the right systems, models, and people. Well, today we announced that the #1 operations talent in our industry, and I'll tell you where we got that from. Stacey Onnen, the president of EXP, is joining Keller Williams. So
wait a minute.
I know.
Hold on a second.
I know.
She's not taking your job though.
She is. We're gonna do it together. No, we're gonna work together. And I'll tell a little bit about that team structure. But for all of you, I want to go back, Nick, for all of us who are agents, and we had some decent conversations and dialogues and objection handlers. We had a sphere of influence. We built our business based on the MREA, whatever the case was. What we realized over time is without the right people in our org chart, we couldn't grow anymore. We kept hitting ceilings, right? And that happened to me in the early 2000s. It was one hire who was brilliant at operations that tripled that business. And it's not going to sound impressive to this group today, but at the time it was number 67 in the entire industry, all brands, 245 sales in 2008. So look at now, that wouldn't crack the top 2,000 today. And I get that. The game has changed, which is a part of why we're going to talk about this being so important.
Well, I just want to tell you that in the chat right now on Facebook, people are going bonkers. They're like, holy moly, that's huge. This is great news. This is incredible. So I'm excited that people are excited that you guys were able to get such an amazing influencer over to our company. And, I like to think, I know Keller Williams has incredible culture. Can you tell us, one of the reasons why she decided to come back to us?
Yeah, what's interesting is a lot of people don't know that she built her own independent. First of all, when you meet her, you're gonna, this will all make sense, Nick, but she is the epitome of kind. She is, I'm gonna say she's one of us, because she is now. Huge heart. Soup culture is her #1 thing. She was with Keller Williams a long time ago, built her own independent, rolled into Keller Williams, became the broker of that office, then was recruited away to Realty One, built their systems, models, tools around kind of this nationwide expansion brokerage piece, then was hired away at EXP, working her way into the president role, and had 1,000 people underneath her in her org chart. The #1 reason that she is coming home is culture. And she exudes culture. She's amazing. And what's interesting about us, Nick, you've been with us for a long time. I've been here since 2000. So I feel like I'm long in the tooth. We've always been an information and training company, right? The early days, we were the best in the world, still are, at training. That's kind of become a commodity over time. So what did Gary do several years ago? We're going to pivot. And what we're going to do is we're going to build technology. That's been a long, tough, grimy road with lots of alligators in that swamp, if you want to put it that way, and getting better every day kind of thing. That's a giant pivot. The next giant pivot is to look at what agents are doing. It's no different than real estate agents, right? The idea of a team 25, 30 years ago was just a foreign concept. Leverage, right? And then 10 years ago, the idea of sphere of influence being your number one lead generator and 87% of your business comes through your SOI. That's how the old people like me all built our businesses. And that is absolutely born into our souls. And so what's happened the last 10 years? Lead aggregation's changed, lead acquisition strategies changed. And now to be among the top and to compete, you've got to have some kind of lead systems. Those lead systems require different operations. And that's what KWI is doing as well. So let's talk about this, Nick. So 5 weeks.
Mark, wait, what's her role going to be?
So it's a great question. She is going to be head of all new business. Okay. And that's, I don't think that title does it justice, but
I like that on our business card. Director of all new business.
Head of all things.
There's got to be something fancier, but we'll come up with it.
Here's what's so interesting is no one here has ego around titles. And I know it's easy to say it's a soundbite, but you said, is she taking my job? I would give it to her because she's that talented and I'll play a different role. We're going to win together. And everyone here feels that way. Carl Liebert, the CEO of KWX, is the most servant leader team player ever. He will take out the garbage if we need him to. And we're all that way. What's really cool is so is Stacey. I'll just show you, I'll give you an example, whether you've run a market center or your own brokerage, or you're running a giant real estate team, there's different skill sets, as we know, for different roles in our team. 5 weeks ago, Nick, a lot of people don't know this because we're also transitioning KWI, no longer, just education, training, technology. Now we're getting into a whole bunch of new businesses. We got Keller Financial Services. We've got the Keller Williams Expansion Network, nationwide brokerage. We have the largest real estate school in the world after 6 months of start.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's unbelievable. So, but 5 weeks ago, Nick, this was our operations team. Now, I don't mean to demean anyone who works at KWI, but our head of operations had left a year ago, and we were kind of piecing things together. We didn't really have a high level trained super head of operations. 5 weeks ago, we had someone join us, and her name is Devin Milligan. She was head of operations at Home Depot, then ran the largest region in Walgreens. Like, she is an operations genius. And after 5 weeks, I'm doing this every day. She is awesome. And we're teaching her real estate. So now flank the other side. And by the way, we've tripled the business units we have at Keller Williams. We're no longer a real estate vertical. We have 14 verticals, getting into segments. We're doing all the things. So now flank that with Stacey, who is the #1 operations executive in our industry. And now you have operational muscle 5 weeks later. That is the most dynamic in the industry. So how we piece and part all the different roles, responsibilities, we are one team. And just like any of you who've ever experienced that one hire, you know what I mean if you've experienced it. You hired that one person and suddenly your net income quadrupled, your business tripled, and you always ask yourself, why didn't I do this a long time ago? But here's the key point, Nick. When talent shows up, and it's the highest level talent in the industry, are you ready to add them to your team? If you're not, or if you have any compunction about titles or anything like that, imagine if I were different, Nick, and someone said, hey, we have, arguably one of our biggest competitors, president, we want to talk to them about coming over. Most people would be like, wait, what?
You're crazy.
Where am I going? But I'm all in, and then meeting her, getting to know her, it's phenomenal. So that's that was a really big org chart we just drew.
I was gonna say that's like first it looked like a pair of glasses, and then you added a third eye. Hey, if you're watching, give us a like or a heart if you're super excited about what Marc is talking about, because I just want to know how pumped you guys are. So Marc, you're talking about you just add it as you grow, you got to add more people, right? Because you got more departments, you have more aspects of your business. So is that something you wanted to dive in a little bit more into
Yeah. I think here's what's interesting. So I always have my real estate agent hat on first, right? Because I feel like if we think and learn and teach from that perspective, KWI can never go wrong. The minute we start saying KWI knows more than the agent in the field or the team leader in the field or the MCA in the field, we're in trouble. And we've gone through periods in our history where we've, I think, thought that, and no more. So what happens is I want you to go back. Everyone watching this is one hire away from doubling their business. And I forget what page that's on in the MREA, but the line is funny. It says, if you hire the right, first admin or operations professional, your business will double. And if your business hasn't doubled, go back and read the last line. But so if you think about it, all of us are chasing growth and we want more leverage in our life. We want more business and we have our growth plans. But if you're not hitting your goals, you're just missing a who. And that's this. So we think about this too. We stripped KWI down to the studs, a year ago. So our 1 year anniversary is coming up. It'll be February 22nd.
Wow, really already?
I know. Can you believe it?
So fast.
It feels like a long time just because I was in the growth director role for a couple of years, my partner, Matt Green, et cetera. And I've worked with Jason side by side now for several years, and that will age you. I'm actually 27 years old. Not a lot of people know this, Nick, but
well, you have the hair of a 27-year-old. I just wanted to say one thing real quick before you dive in, because that was so powerful. You're one hire away from doubling your business. Whenever I'm talking to a team or a rainmaker, I'm coaching them or consulting them on technology, I go, wait a minute. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your admin, because it's so important, because the rainmaker is always looking at the admin like, do we do that? Is that something we're doing? Do we have that system? Because the admin is really the boss and really the one that holds everything down and keeps it all together.
100%. Same in a market center. Your MCA is your boss as a team leader. They run the business, you grow the business. But here's an interesting point on that, Nick. Who do you have to be to attract that person? So when you come across that person, why would the number one operations executive in the industry want to work with Gary Keller? Who do you have to be, right? And so I'm going to tell you that I'm not sure that she would have just come to work with me. So we're all learning together. Although she did text me and say I was the reason she was coming. I have it written down, just so you know.
If it's in writing, it's true.
But it's two things, right? It's always be looking for talent and be open for talent, be able to recognize what talent is. We have a great CV process that helps us with that. And then when you come across it in this market, don't blink. Go. And when you go, you'll find an amazing fit. So you asked about all the business units. As of a couple of years ago, Keller Mortgage was the first big foray into something outside of the real estate franchise vertical for Keller Williams. And then we brought in insurance, and we brought in manage, and we brought in offers and several other of those things. Then what we realized is we've got, like many of us in our businesses, we've got many different things going on. So we need to organize them, right? We're using different tech for each business. We're using different banks for different, right? So what one co or KWX or all that is one company that's going to house all those things. So how do you do the best you can do at building that? Well, you go get the former COO of Home Depot, the former CEO of 24 Hour Fitness, right? You go get Carl Liebert, who is unbelievable as a leader. And he has those chops, right? And you keep your real estate DNA. He tells us every day, teach me, coach me. I mean, he's so learning based. It's awesome. But we have brought in a ton, a lot of our new executives, I call them the Avengers, Nick. We have a chief legal officer, Stacey Heron, who is, all of these people make me feel like the dumbest person in the room. So I know we're on the right track. But
you're in the right room then, Mark.
Our CFO, Stacey Sharp, et cetera. So now you look across all the things that are coming, all the things we've done, K-Win, K-Score, there's 11 new segments. And in order to truly understand this org chart and why we're doing what we're doing, you have to really look into what the segments are. Segments are no longer, hey, we're going to call this luxury and you're going to pay $100 a month to be part of it, and you're going to get special marketing, and that's the luxury division. We're actually driving the segments. It's like starting 11 new businesses. So we've started 14 new businesses in the last year. And when you think about all that's been accomplished and all the things, and we went from 3 businesses, right, to 17 businesses in 12 months. So things are breaking around here. We got COVID still, we got great resignation going on. Our resignation was below the national average. Really proud of that, but still too high. We're figuring out comp bands. The cost of living in Austin's gone through the roof. Benefits have changed. There's a great video this morning I was watching on or listening to on the way to work about, people are reevaluating their lives. 58% of Americans right now are questioning whether or not they want to do the job they're doing. So that's either really challenging, stressful times because you're worried that people in your company are going to quit, or it's amazing opportunity times because one hire that you need is out there looking for an opportunity that better fits their work-life balance. So that was lots of words, Nick, but you can tell I'm excited. I'm a little pumped up this morning.
I'm excited too, man. I'm excited too. And you drew the best picture to explain all of that.
I know. How about this? But here's the point. This zero operational muscle, zero.
Okay.
Worst in the business, terrible at that. I have none of it. I barely make it to work by myself. Now I have the 2 Avenger superheroes on each side.
I mean, when you start talking about Avengers, I start to understand.
It's crazy at every single spot, every single one of them. There's not, I'm the weak link, but we have sports and entertainment. That's a new business. My gosh. Jordan Stewart is lighting up sports and entertainment.
Huge.
And Jason's helped him. That was the business Jason was in. He knows it inside and out.
Yeah.
We've got Relo coming on and starting to grow with loss mitigation. We've got a bunch of them. I'm going to tell you, and I probably shouldn't spill all the beans because we're in different flight with different businesses based on the people we have involved or where they are on the roadmap. But there's one segment that I think is going to dwarf all the others and be a huge opportunity. So when you think about the ability, and should I tell you what it is or should I tease you?
No, tell us.
I think it's going to be military. And we can't really, we have lots of fun announcements coming on that. But one of the reasons that we built the real estate school and offer it for free is that we have to build a bigger top of funnel for every face in our community. And when we, DEI, diversity and equity and inclusion is a huge part of what we're doing. When we started looking up at the studies after the George Floyd murder, what we saw was there is a disproportionate amount of people who look different than we do, Nick, in this business than are in our communities. We have to affect change there. And there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of systemic reasons why that we're attacking, but a lot of it is barrier to entry getting into the industry. So that was the marginalized communities were one of the biggest reasons we started the real estate school and offer it for free. What we didn't anticipate was the outpouring from the military community because they PCS every couple of years. So imagine being the spouse of someone in the military who loves real estate, wants to be an agent. Imagine your business and you build a sphere of influence and you just get going and poof, you move across the country. And then you rebuild it in 2 years, poof, you move across the country. So today with, again, the lead aggregation and lead acquisition strategy changes with the ability to get licensed in any state for free, I think you'll see us become the #1 preferred real estate company for military and spouses.
Well, I think that that's huge because military is all about service and real estate's all about service. And when you put the two together, you just have a massive, unbelievable service industry. I know so many awesome agents who are veterans, and they have big businesses because it just all comes from the heart. And I just think it's awesome. My best friend is watching right now. His name is Rashawn, and Marc King. His name is Rashawn, and he's in Myrtle Beach, and he is a veteran, and he just joined us several months ago.
Thank you for your service, Rashawn.
So I think it's going to be a huge asset once we add that for sure. And you're right. With the real estate school, there's so many people that, they want to get into this business. Like I always say to my kids, listen, if you don't want to go to college, then go to a trade school, right? Go be a mechanic, go be a hairdresser, go to real estate school. And getting into those industries can be expensive.
Yep.
And so I think it's a big thing that we're doing this for free for sure.
I love it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you.
Awesome.
So much. Anything else
So
we need?
just to recap, because there are people that jumped in late and they're like, wait, what did I miss? What was the announcement? So just let's end with the announcement again, Mark.
I love it. So we I feel like we should, like, there's a big buildup. One of the neatest, kindest people that I've met in the industry, who happens to also be the executive at the top of all operations in real estate, the president of EXP, Stacey Onnen, is joining Keller Williams, joining our team. And I am so excited. It's a muscle we're going to be flexing in the future that we haven't necessarily had in the past. And I just couldn't be more. I'm elated. And the number one reason she's coming is our culture.
Culture, number one, baby. Let's not forget it.
Yep.
Mark, I will see you in a couple weeks, my friend.
Family reunion, Orlando. Can't wait. Woo!
In person. Woo! All right, guys, go make it happen. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
See you soon.